Hi, it's Nancy from Erotic Living, and today I'm actually quite excited to bring you a subject that is really true to all of us and to today's society and to our lifestyle. And the subject is stress. Now, I recently learnt some of the definitions of stress to be a little bit different to what is commonly understood. Now, we all have, and there's a wealth of information around how to release your stress levels. But there's not much around as to how it is created. So first of all, let's understand that stress is actually an accumulative energy. It starts off small almost each and every day with almost each and every breath you take. And it gets stored within your body. It gets stored in your cellular memory. It gets stored in your nervous system. Your organs feel it. Your mind and emotions just carry that stress level. And as I said, situations day to day just keep building that up. So for me personally, it's still, even when I sit in the car after many years of being a single mother and driving my children for 18 years to all their curriculum activities with such a deadline, I sat in the car and my hands would be clenched around my steering wheel. And still to this day, my hands have that memory. My hands will sit in the car and will grasp my steering wheel. So it's important to unlearn what used to stress you. So by starting off, understand that stress is an accumulative energy, and there is so much on the media how to release the stress, but only once it's there. We all know that, physical activities, we all know that meditation, we all know that good diet and mindset releases stress. So, but what if at the end of the day you don't have the chance to release the stress that you accumulated throughout the day? If you still have to go home and cook and tend to family or have another project that you need to do, what if that then you go to bed, you haven't released that stress, you almost wake up the next day not at the desired peaceful level, but with a level of stress inherent in your body. So let's just look at what I've just recently learned. Now, the emotion of expectation is something that, if it's not mastered, actually kicks off your level of stress. What do you mean by expectation? I mean that, have you ever walked into a room, or have you ever started a project with someone, or even at home, you've arrived home and you inherently just expected things to be a little bit different. You expected maybe the dishes to be done, maybe the members of your team to have completed the project on time, or maybe your partner knew exactly what you wanted from him or her. So when that expectation isn't met, you feel it. You feel it inside of you. You feel it. I feel it in my stomach. It's almost like it clenches and it tightens, and then again it snowballs. So what's the bravery? What's the action? What's the habit that I need to adopt so that I can avoid the expectation, which will then go into the disappointment? So I suggest that in order to avoid expectation is actually to have the courage to have conversations, to communicate with all the people around you what you expect. So if you're planning a function, or you're stepping into your workplace, your team members know how to behave, know what is expected of them, and you can walk in and be actually a lot more effective because you don't have that clench within you. Also, not only is it they to know what you expect from them, but you are to know also what they wish from you. And it's really courageous to express yourself to each other. So communication is one of the biggest habits that we actually need to adopt. The next thing is that, now remember, stress is cumulative energy. So throughout the day, rather than allowing it to build up, adopt some little mindful habits of release work, almost on an hourly basis, if you wish, or 2 or 3 times a day. Now, one of the practices that I have, I start off each day with an intention and a meditation, but then throughout the day, as things happen, and they do, I'm in customer service, and not everyone is beautiful or kind or easygoing, and I can feel a build-up of anxiety or anger even, or frustration within me. So I suggest that moment to moment, stop a few minutes, and almost what I do is close my eyes. Now remember, our eyes, they absorb so much stimulus from the outside world that they're working and sending brain signals constantly. So the very action of actually closing your eyes for a few minutes, I put my hand to my heart and just breathe. Just breathe, breathe, and breathe. That in itself will reset your hormones, will reset and settle your breath work, will reset and settle your nervous system. So you're approaching the next 2 or 3 hours with a sense of calmness. The third factor that you can adopt so that you don't actually start off stressful is what's happened in our society is that we wear a badge of honour almost in how independent we have become, how we do everything as a strong, empowered, single entity. Now, we are actually social beings. We're not meant to climb every mountain alone, achieve every dream alone, run the marathon alone. We're actually meant to share it, have a camaraderie. The very fact that I started off this website and I, listened to the media of Squarespace, which is the platform that I'm using, and it said, it's so simple, you can do it within 10 hours, click here, drag here, etc., etc. It absolutely paralyzed me. I sat there mesmerized, in shock, overwhelmed, in horror of, oh my God, what have I done? So I very fortunately caught up with Fallon, and she's one of the members of my tribe, and together with her, the whole creative process, as technical as it was, but it was still a very creative process, was filled with a lot of joy. It was filled with fun. It was an interactive activity rather than an activity that gave me such stress and overwhelm. So I suggest to you that whenever there is a project, bring aboard people that can support you. Bring aboard that can give you another look at how to do a project, maybe another mindset or another approach that can make it a lot more joyful for you. So I say that let's take charge of our life a little bit more. Let's do things with a lot more love, grace, and ease.